Hello everyone, Jared here. Thanks so much for tuning in to watch us today. Actually, today we have packed a lot of information for you. We're going to talk about something that most investors actually overlook, which is District 7. In case you don't know who we are, I have my partner, Andrea.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea and I've been 12 years in this industry helping families upgrade from their HDB to private condos. Now, I myself have also walked through that journey, upgrading from a HDB to multiple properties and finally my private property without touching much of my savings. So over here we have Jared.
Hello everyone, Jared here. So I'm in 5 years in the industry already. What I do is I help clients who are families, investors spot undervalued properties. I've developed my own trademark framework, which is the 3P framework, to help my clients spot undervalued properties with clear exit strategies. Today, we are very excited to share with you why Aurea stands out and how it fits into the Singapore's transformation story.
Yep. So actually, I think, Jared, maybe you can tell the audience, why is it District 7 is overlooked?
So I feel like a lot of people, they have this perception of Golden Mile, as in the old perception of Golden Mile. It's very laid back, it's sleazy.
Mookata, right?
And Mookata, the Thai disco and all that.
Yes.
Not that I've been there, but then so that's the common perception that I guess is stuck in a lot of people's minds.
And I think over here later we're going to share in the webinar first macro and micro factors driving District 7 growth. Also, a second point, we're going to look at strategies, a proven framework to evaluate new launches and uncover opportunities in today's market. In terms of where investors are going, where do you think they're going actually?
So I feel like investors today, they have this perception of core central region being just D9, 10, 11 alone, because of probably what they're exposed to. And because of that, they are just blindly chasing hype, going for the next highest PSF and all that. And they kind of overlook what the other districts have to offer today, which we are really excited to show you certain opportunities that we have pointed out. Yeah.
Yep. So with that, in terms of the transformation, I think that's going to be one of the main things we're going to talk about. So you're able to get a better idea of Kampong Bugis and Nicole Precinct, where Aurea is at.
Yep.
All right.
So what we want to share with you today is the overview of a more macro view of Singapore, where the wealth is coming from. So if you look at this table here, actually, if you see Singapore ranks 12 in the entire table of the number of millionaires in the entire world. This is actually a 64% growth from 2013 to 2023. Singapore also attracts a very strong number of ultra high net worth people over the last few years, which you can see in the charts, and will potentially to forecast an increased growth all the way to 2026 at a number of 6,000.
Okay, with that, Singapore is also ranked the most livable city in Asia, which is super important when we look at District 7, core central region, whereby mainly these are rented by expats, by foreigners. Obviously, we have the locals coming in, okay? With that, also, we realize why are foreigners, why are high net worth millionaires all coming in because of our very strong currency. Now, with that also, in terms of governance, we're safe, okay? Very good for corporations to start here because of our low corporate tax. And with that, in terms of our legal system, it is very transparent, okay? And it's corrupt-free.
Definitely. Okay, and then furthermore, this is with the backdrop of dropping interest rates, which ease a lot of affordability. So the cost of borrowing used to be much higher.
Yep.
But thankfully, with dropping interest rates, it's actually sparking a lot of homeowners and a lot of buying activity happening in the property market. In turn, when there's increased activity happening in the property market, what that means, Andrea, do you think property prices, where would be headed if buying activity goes up?
Yeah, so with, you said like people being more able to afford, right? It is, a good chance that property prices will increase because of buying activities increasing.
Yeah. And then the cost of borrowing drops, right? So
Yep.
previously, for a $2 million property, your mortgage could be like $5,000 a month over a 30-year loan tenor. But that $5,000 could drop to, say, $4,000 plus. So it makes it a lot more affordable for most people. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so with that now, people mind will be thinking, how come in Singapore, right, property prices just keep increasing? Why is there no like sharp dip? Maybe you want to share with the audience?
Okay, so I've looked at the property price index over the last few years. One thing I think a lot of our viewers need to understand is so we have actually good governance in implementing all these cooling measures to make sure that our property market don't overheat. Right, we want to make sure that property market is backed by economic fundamentals, and when I mean fundamentals, I mean simply supply and demand. We want to make sure that the number of houses that we have are backed by the demand to consume this supply. So how does the government makes this fundamental strong is with the implementation of cooling measures, like the LTV, loan to value, to make sure that financial prudence is kept, making sure that people do not over leverage by using the TDSR system. Today at TDSR is 55%, so you cannot over borrow, you cannot over leverage based on what is allowable. So however much you can borrow is pegged to your income, which is a very good metric of making sure that the property market remains stable. So that explains the question why, despite all these cooling measures that come to the picture, why is the market not crashing? It's really about calibrating this to economic fundamentals.
Now, another thing also, right, then for Singaporeans, for investors in Singapore in general, do you know, right, how do we invest? Like where should we be looking out for? I think the solution is that the beauty of that in Singapore property market is that we have the URA master plan. Okay, so we're going to look into that. The URA master plan 2025, specifically Kampong Bugis district. Now, this article was just released in 7 September this month. Okay, URA withdraws development plans for upcoming 4,000 homes in this Kampong Bugis precinct, which is basically where near really just a stone throw away where Aurea is. Now, in this case, you can see land was set aside for also along the whole Kallang River, not just the Kampong Bugis, but up Kallang District Park, Kallang Industrial Estate, and also Tanjong Ru. Now, with this adjusted plans for the Kampong Bugis, okay, that was basically put up for sale in 2019, but later removed, okay, we're going to see what are the changes here from Master Plan 2019 versus Master Plan 2025. You can see in terms of the colors of white sites, now they have changed it to this orange color, which is zoned for residential site.
I see that, yeah. So previously there was only just maybe one condo riverine by the park, which is actually very iconic today, still today. If you pass by Kallang Road, you'll see it. But then what you can see, the difference in 2025 master plan is several increases in the orange plots, which what that means is potentially more housing gonna be in this future. And guess what? Do you think this housing in this prime location, would it be cheap or expensive?
I mean, with land bidding, right? I mean, when they bid, typically, yes, they will bid, pretty high. And with construction costs increasing, we are expecting, typically for these houses, years down the road, will definitely cost higher than the current plots that are up for sale. Also, when we looked at the neighboring plot, so this is where, I'm going to show you, this is where Golden Mile is, a commercial. This is where Aurea is going to be the residential. And right beside here, okay, this plot about 0.8 hectare in size, it's another upcoming mixed use also.
Wow.
So that is saying that, hey, we've got Aurea, but right beside it, we've got another plot that is coming up in time, likely government land sale. So
and I like how that is well positioned, right? Is because that eventually will also be the land support in terms of pricing for Aurea and the future developments ahead of us. Okay.
All right. So this is just a big picture overview, okay, of all the future waterfront developments along the Kallang River. So where I was talking about was here, Kampong Bugis, okay. Aurea is right here. We also got the Nicole Highway here. So this river, you can see these are the different zonings that a lot of red ones here, the future housing.
Yep.
Okay. So this is also support in terms of when they also reach their TOP or MOP, they are also potentially going to upgrade into these different areas here.
That's right. Okay, so District 7, why I think it's constantly overlooked and shouldn't be is because District 7 is home to a lot of prime mixed developments. Some of these projects, I'm sure, Andrea, you are probably familiar with that, some of these very iconic condos. I'm just going to name a few examples like Midtown Modern, South Beach Residence, Dual Residence, Citygate, Concourse Skyline, and the M. So all these are really iconic developments that actually contribute to the skyline of the District 7. Okay, and of course, with the other integrated developments in Singapore as well, we have those in the city fringe like Reserve Residence, Canning Hill Piers at Fort Canning, Piccadilly Grand at Farrer Park, Jayden at Jurong East, and Dairy Farm Residence. What the common theme is that all these integrated developments, they are typically mid to large size, which is typically the norm right now in Singapore integrated development scene. But for Aurea, how it stands out is its exclusivity at only 188 units. Yeah.
Okay, so in here we contrast District 9, which is within the CCR, okay, and District 7. Now, the difference between District 9 and District 7 is that there is a clear segregation between its residential and its commercial, okay? Unlike what Jared has said here, District 7, there is a good mix of the different land. They mix it together within that same plot, okay? The mixed development with both resi and commercial, which actually offers a lot of convenience. You can just go head down. In your Bermudas, your shorts, your slippers, you can get your amenities. Your groceries, your supplies easily.
And a lot of people also forget that actually for District 7 is home to a very famous MRT station, is Bugis. Bugis is currently today an interchange with both the Green Line and the Blue Line, which is well connected pretty much the whole of Singapore as well, which is why District 7 is what we call the new prime. Yeah. Okay, so for those who tend to, as we mentioned, overlook this area, I guess the reason is because we're still stuck in old perceptions. We all see Golden Mile as basically the place that is always associated with the mukata, the discos, and all that. So, but actually, the district has already been transformed. So this is an old picture of how it looks. All right, and then for a little bit of story is that for Golden Mile, it's actually sold and en bloc for by Far East. So the developer is actually a joint venture consortium between Far East and Perennial Holdings. Okay, and how the whole entire new look is gonna be looking like. All right, so there is a commercial component called the Golden Mile. Okay, the interesting thing is actually it retains how the heritage look of it. So it actually retains how it's the original look. But then of course over and above that, you are actually given them the flexibility to increase 4 stories. All right. Then there's also the residential component, which is called Aurea today. One tower of residential building. Comprising of a lot of key facilities on certain levels of the block. Okay.
Okay, so with that, what is going on in this whole entire District 7 is this Kampung Bugis that we spoke about earlier in that 8 September article that we spoke about earlier, right? Now, you will be wondering what is the size. It is huge. It is 14 football fields, okay? This 50 square meter, this is where what we call livability occurs. We're not just going to have your houses. We're going to have also retail offices, community users. Now, I feel like for an estate to thrive, right, it's very important to also have community users like your community center, the different areas for, sports, basically for not just, what I meant is not just the offices.
Correct.
Yeah, so this is great to know this. This would take 11 to 13 years to complete. So at least you know in terms of exit audience, this is important to take note, yeah? Okay, and then another thing, what happened is that in the Kallang side where the sports hub is, right, there is going to be a pedestrian bridge that will link basically the Kallang, the sports hub. They will link it all the way to the waterfront promenade, which is Gardens by the Bay. Now with that, you can see now you are really, I would say, pretty much a walk away to this whole entire Gardens by the Bay, and Marina Bay Sands with this pedestrian bridge. Next, we have this. What are the transformation also taking place at Kallang? Basically, the football hub, okay, it's already been completed in 2024. Okay, also the Singapore Tennis Center, this academy. Along that later, you will see there is this loop that they want to have for both walking and for cycling. So in terms of those who liked basically exercising, walking, I mean, instead of walking or cycling around this area, these are all connectivity that is well thought through by URA.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Aurea's anchor role in this whole District 7. So I'll touch on where exactly we are located. We're actually just minutes walk away from Nicoll Highway MRT, which is a part of the Circle Line. As we know, Circle Line is a very well-connected MRT station, connects you basically the entire city fringe of Singapore. For the location of Aurea, we're located in the downtown core central region. So just let me take some time to reflect on that again. So a lot of people actually mistakenly think that Aurea is in the city fringe, rest of central region, but we're actually in the core central region of Singapore. And later on in the next couple of slides, we'll talk about the pricing of how this is so attractively priced compared to other core central region products. Okay, so as mentioned, so Aurea is in the downtown core, in the core central region where predominantly a lot of people perceive CCR as just the D9, 10, 11. So this part of the CCR in Singapore tend to be often overlooked. Okay, the nearby amenities that Aurea is surrounded by, we can see some notable iconic buildings, like if you want your groceries and your amenities, Suntec City is just nearby, Bugis Junction, Esplanade, Marina Square. So you're very, very well connected to all the big shopping centers and amenities around the area. Okay.
All right. So in terms of the project details, what we're going to be focusing on is Aurea, which is this high rise. Okay, this residential. Okay, and over here they are the offices. The lower levels are the retail and the medical suites.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So this is the unit mix of the residential tower. So interestingly, we do not have any one bedrooms in Aurea. The smallest unit in Aurea is a 2-bed, 2-bath. There's actually 3 different types of 2 bedrooms. Later we will show you the floor plan, how it looks. But it's a very nice spread different between the different layouts. And we have 2, 3, 4, and up to 5 bedrooms. So it actually caters to very different kind of profile of people looking to come into District 7, all the way from the single to the young couples or the investors, all the way to the families, the big families, or even the multi-generation living who wants to own a part of District 7 in Singapore. Okay, a total of 188 units, as I mentioned. And Andrea, did you take a look at what is the maintenance fee per month?
Okay, so for the 2-bedroom and the 3-bedroom, it's 432 per month. And when we look onto the 4-bed, 540, and the 4-bed premium at 612. So it's in the 700 and above for the 5-bed in the penthouses.
Yeah. So comparatively to the nearby surrounding resale or core central region properties, typically this is relatively on the lower side, which makes it very attractive for buyers looking to buy a place here. Okay, so this is just also for information. This is how the unit mix will look like for the commercial. So it's spread between the medical suites, offices, and even the super atas crown enterprise offices as well. So it's also very suitable for investors who are looking to rent out or foreigners looking to buy a piece of heritage in Singapore as well. Okay, some infographics of how the project will look. Okay. The next segment here is really very tuned into going deep into the numbers. So if you are an investor or you are someone who are looking to buy something that is undervalued, you want to have some confidence in terms of spotting the right entry price to give you the assurance that this is a good safety net for you to consider as your investment home, stay tuned.
Okay, so as a whole, you can see this is from 2020. We track every quarter all the way till 2025 first quarter. If you see right at the top, the blue refers to the PSF for the core central region. The yellow one would be then for the RCR, and the green refers to the OCR. As Jared has mentioned, this Aurea, it is in the core central region, CCR. But now, take a look. If you notice as it's been going, there is actually a gap between the CCR and the RCR. But as time passes along this 5 years, you can see that this gap has actually totally closed up. All right. Now, with that, what does it mean for investors?
So what that means is that with the overlapping of the core central region and the city fringe pricing, previously the cost of buying a core central region, buyers had to pay a premium, and this premium could range from up to 30% to even 50% even. In today's context, where the city fringe, we are looking at city fringe houses like Aurea, like Emerald of Katong, even for the per square foot prices, even crossing way more higher than what the core central region is doing. I think this presents itself as a rare opportunity for buyers looking to buy into the core central region. Core central region need not be seen as only for the ultra rich anymore. It can actually be accessible to your fellow Singaporeans who are maybe HDB upgraders even.
Yeah, so I think this second half, especially in 2025, very exciting. Many of these core central region new launches have started. So with Promenade peaked in second quarter, the highest achieved is 3,520 PSF. This is basically the highest, and over the range, you can see it ranges from high 2,800 all the way to 3,300 PSF.
Okay. Yeah, Andrea, so interestingly, Promenade Peak is a city fringe property, it's RCR, but can you look at the PSF that has been transacted at 3,005? Can I ask you a question? Do you know what's the price point that Aurea is asking right now?
I think that I'm a consumer. Based on this RCR, if these are the prices, Aurea should be selling at 3,000 PSF.
Actually, it's much lower than that.
Okay.
Yeah. So Aurea's cheapest unit right now is starting from 2006 PSF. So that's a huge gap with what's actually transacting in the city fringe market. So that presents an opportunity. So you can see for fellow core central region counterparts like River Green and River Valley, the highest transacted is 3006 PSF. For Orchard Boulevard, Upper House at District 10, highest transacted at 3008 PSF. One Marina Gardens, which is a city fringe property, which is also used as a very good comparison with Aurea as well. Highest transacted is at 3003 PSF. Now, Aurea in Toa Payoh in a city fringe at District 12. Wow, this is amazing. This one has crossed even higher than 3000 PSF. Okay, Chuan Park. Okay, let's talk about Chuan Park. Why this is so significant is because Chuan Park is belonging to the outskirt region. Okay, the OCR, and even transacting at 2007. Okay, can you remember again what was the price that I mentioned Aurea is asking right now?
2,600 PSF starting from.
So what that means is we are actually seeing outskirt prices transacting even higher than what you can buy for core central region today in Aurea. Okay, some other transactions in Union Square.
These are the mixed development ones.
Okay, these are the mixed development ones. So for Union Square, located at the Havelock area in District 1, highest transacted at 3007. Okay, this is at the Collective at 1 Sophia, District 9 core central region, transacting at closer to 2009 PSF. Okay, and coming back to District 7, which where Aurea is located. This is at Bugis MRT. The integrated development is very iconic. Just recently, TOP transacted even as high as 4,007 PSF. Can you believe it, Andrea?
This is resale we're talking about. So actually, for people who are thinking in D7, people will not be looking into buying at such PSF. I mean, okay, this is the highest, but if we look at the others, we're already seeing an average of 3,003 to 3,600 PSF. So
So
this gives very good support.
I think it's absolutely important. So
Mm.
today, if I'm an investor, the first thing I want to look at is what is the pricing that's actually transacting in the same district, right? Yeah, so I get that the region gap analysis that we have done is important, but that's quite macro still. I'd like to zoom into the specific district that I'm planning to make my purchase in, and it definitely gives me a lot of assurance that projects in the resale market are doing a lot more higher than what I'm going to buy a brand new property for. Okay. And Midtown Bay as well, located just beside Midtown Modern, also transacting at across 4,000 plus PSF. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to look now into the different resale condo along Aurea. So over here we have Dual Galleria, okay, but specifically the residential plot is called Dual Residences. Now, let's look at how has it performed on the resale market. Okay, so this is basically an asking for dual residences, 4-bed, 4-bath at 4.7 million. Okay, now if we deploy this tool called Lease Reset, that will represent that we will take, okay, the asking, let's say we round it down to 4.7, okay, we divide it by its size at 1,927 square feet, okay, what its current PSF will be, okay, will be 2,485. Now, but we need to be mindful, okay, when was the lease? The lease began at 2011. So we take this 2,485 PSF, we divide it by the number of balance years lease, and we reset it basically to 99 years lease. We're looking at a 2,894 PSF. So based on what Jared said just now, Aurea was 2,600. This is 2,894 when we reset the lease. So yeah, I think this does also show us the value, okay, that you are going undervalued in terms of the PSF.
Yeah, I think more importantly also is what would the quantum look like for a product like this if it was based on a reset of a full 99 years? It goes into the range of more than 5.5 million.
Yep.
Yeah. So for the quantum of Aurea, we're looking at about 4.
And starting from
Yeah.
starting from 4. So we're talking about a gap of like 1 million. Yes.
Talk about safety net here. I see a
Yes.
big safety net over here. Yeah.
Okay, in terms of profitability, be wondering for dual residences, okay, we basically sorted to the highest profit. You've seen profits of 2.1 mil. Okay, and over here we're seeing an average of about 400 to about 600,000 in terms of their profit when they bought and exited in the recent years.
Why this is important, why we're showing profitability table is a sentiment of the demand in the area. It's a sentiment of whether certain projects in the area is performing or not. So when I'm considering a project, say for example Aurea, I want to know the nearby surrounding resale, are they performing? Is there a reflection of demand on the ground in this specific area? So that's why we're looking at this table. So happy to see that actually dual residents, given that it's in the resale market already, is still quite well sought after in demand. Yeah.
Okay, so now we look at Concourse Skyline. Okay, in terms of where it is, also it's also along that stretch where Aurea is. Okay, it has good views of that Kallang Water. Okay, the waterfront living. Now this asking 4-bed 4-bath 5.5 mil. Okay, so if we did that same tool using Lease Reset, okay, we will get a PSF, okay, of 3,138. Again, way above of about 500 above Aurea's PSF, and likewise the full quantum, if we reset it to 99 years, we're looking at 6.7 mil.
That's crazy. Actually, later on, there's a price disparity slide that we want to show you in comparison to summarize how all the resale properties look like in comparison with Aurea. Yeah. And then for Concourse Skyline profitability table, we're looking at profitable transactions, averagely about 500,000. Yeah, for a variety of different sizes of the unit types.
Okay, so we're going to look at the 4-bed, right? In terms of the floor plan comparison, you can see that for dual, because of the way it is shaped, Okay, we're not gonna get those squarish layouts here. Okay.
So even though on paper you're getting 1,800 square feet, but actually the amount of usable space that you get to enjoy, you're hardly enjoying most of it.
Yeah, and I think some people don't really enjoy these irregular bedrooms.
Yeah.
They prefer the regular, squarish or rectangle layouts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, whatever a 4-bit will require, it does have the dry, the wet, the utility. Okay.
I think a big no-no is the bedrooms. So it's basically, even though you probably after you put a queen size bed, you can hardly have a space. So look at bedroom 4, for example.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a major drawback lah. I think if you are gonna spend 5.5 million or 5 million, for example, and you definitely expect much better of the efficiency of layout. We also have Concourse Skyline as a reference example. Of course, it's huge. It's 2,200 square feet. Nobody's mixed floor plans like that anymore. But of course, as a result, the quantum goes up to a number that you cannot imagine. It goes to a number that a lot of Singaporean buyers today would then balance between, should I buy this or should I try to own a landed property? Yeah, so that kind of quantums, you have that kind of debates going on. But if you look at the floor plan here, the one thing that strikes my attention is you see a lot of big balconies. Okay, 2 in fact. Yeah, so actually out of the 2,200 square feet, I would safely say maybe about 400 square feet goes to the balcony. Also, a lot of bay windows in the bedrooms as well. And basically the whole house has also the bay windows. So actually in terms of usable space that you're going to enjoy, not that much as you would have imagined too. And how does that compare to 4-bedroom layout types in Aurea?
Okay, so for the 4-bit Aurea, you can see that in terms of balcony, it's only placed at the living, for the landscape one, for the bigger one. And for this, it will be across bedroom 3 and the living. In terms of living, for the smaller one, it's portrait. Okay. But the cool thing about this is that you've got a really nice kitchen with a utility in WC. Whereas for the bigger 4-bit, you have this over here. Okay, the island, which is a desirable feature for those who love hosting.
Yeah, that kind of island setup of the kitchen is only prevailing in the ultra luxury segment or in a landed house. You don't get to see this kind of kitchen setup in your usual condo, your mass market condos. Yeah. And I also like how the 4-bedrooms are also equipped with private lifts as well. They are catered to the category of people who are looking for the finer things. And these are the little finer details that this group of category of buyers, they look for as well. Okay. So in totality, after doing a very comprehensive comparative market analysis, we see that in District 7, supply of 4-bedrooms, there are not many. If I just do a summation of all the resale properties, including Aurea, okay, we have only a total of 269 units out of the entire District 7. So Aurea with actually presents a great opportunity for buyers in a very supply scarce area, as also a very efficient option if you are looking for a sizable unit for a family to live or maybe a multi-generation setup. This is definitely a good place to consider.
What is so special about the 4-bit in Aurea as compared to maybe, let's say, Midtown Modern? Maybe you want to share more about the views too?
Okay, for the 4-bedroom unit types in Aurea, you actually get to enjoy the very nice bay view. Okay. Only the 4-bedrooms and the 5-bedrooms get to enjoy the wonderful bay view. Okay, so you can imagine the kind of scene at night. And of course, during the fireworks season, during National Day and all, you get to enjoy really wonderful views as well. This is not something that you actually get to enjoy for the smaller bedroom types. Okay, as I was mentioning, so this is the price disparity effect. So let me just take some time to explain to you folks who are really down into the numbers what this chart really means. Yeah. So on the x-axis is actually the lease start date. So from the oldest property from Burlington Square, which is the slightly dirty yellow color, all the way to the pink bubble, which is Aurea, the newest property in District 7. Okay, so these bubbles represent it's the price range of the 4-bedroom types that's been transacted. Of course, the lower the bubble is on this chart, it means the lower quantum. So based on how land cost is being structured, of course, as time goes on, land cost increases. So you would naturally expect for newer properties to be priced more expensively. But the interesting thing is that for Aurea, being the newest property in District 7, it's actually on one of the lowest bubble in this chart here, which presents an opportunity because what you want to understand as a buyer is what is your safety net. Yeah, I mentioned this word quite a lot because that's an important factor that most investors look at. I want to know today, if I buy into Aurea at $4 million, what is the price gap? Am I paying with reference to my resale neighbor counterparts? Because I want to also reflect on the fact that today, if I were to buy Aurea, 4 years later, 5 years later, Aurea will be a resale property also.
Yep.
Eventually, I want to think about how my future buyer looks at my unit with reference to the nearby surrounding resale, which will then be 4 or 5 years older also. And they will also be looking at this chart. They will also be on Property Guru and also sorting based on price. And then they will see that I am priced very comparatively because of how we have entered correctly in terms of pricing. Okay? So in summary, if you look at the whole price disparity table, you can see that the quantum for Aurea is averagely about 4 mil, right, at the top of the first row, with reference to the other neighboring counterparts. For example, Dual residents at 4.7, South Beach residents at 8 mil, and maybe Concourse Skyline at 5 mil. So that's a very good kind of safety net that we are looking at for Aurea.
Okay, so we look at another development that is nearer, okay, just across where Dual Residences is. We've got this where Midtown Modern is. Okay, we look specifically at how have they been performing. In terms of PSF achieved, we've already mentioned earlier, it's in the 4,783 PSF. Okay, profitability-wise, very healthy, between the 250 all the way to 600. When we round it up in terms of 600,000 in terms of their profit. Okay, now if we look at another project also in its vicinity called the M, okay, we'll look at the 2-bed 1 bar. This is asking for 1.8 mil. It's a 635 square feet. Now, same thing when we deploy Lease Reset, we take the asking, okay, we divide by the size. We've got the current PSF, but what if we divide it by the balance lease and multiply it by 99? When we do that Lease Reset, it is actually 3,000. Again, not just the quantum, it is higher because we're talking about Aurea 2-bedroom starting at 1.7 and above. This is already 100,000 greater. And also that in terms of the PSF, this is already a safety gap of a 400 PSF.
Wow, Andrea, can you just repeat again for the audience what's the starting from price for 2 bedrooms in Aurea? Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, 1.7x.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Wow, it's definitely a steal. So you are actually a 200K kind of price disparity compared to your neighbor, the M. Okay, that sounds quite good. And looking at the profitability table of the M, again, why we're doing this is want to know and make sure that we are in an area of performing properties. We want to know that the demand in this area is supported by good, strong, healthy demand. There's good resale transactions and people actually making money. All right. So the M for the 1-2 bedrooms, I like what I'm seeing. Very healthy kind of profits in the range of 200,000 to 300,000. Actually, in a holding period of about 3 to 4 years period. Yeah.
Annualized gains ranges about 3.2 to about 5.8. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Now we look at a older project called City Gate. It's asking slightly lower than Aurea, 1.6. Okay, but in terms of the lease, it started from 2014. So we take 99 minus 11. We're only left with 88 years, yeah? So again, same method, Lease Reset. when we reset it to 99 years, the PSF now is very comparable to is at 2,535 PSF, very comparable right now to Aurea. But then again, we have to ask ourselves, okay, this resale, and you have the option to buy a brand new 2-bed, 2-bath, okay, this is pretty much about 10 to 11 years old in terms of your exit audience, Jared. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just thinking right now, if let's say today I had 1.8 million and I decided to buy Citygate because I needed something quick and immediate. I only worry 4 years later, how would my property look like to my future buyers while I'm only left with 84 years of lease. I don't know. I then compared to Aurea maybe have a longer runway. I worry that my exit audience may not be as wide anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Also later, we can also share with the audience about rental. Because usually I think there is this phenomenon that tenants tend to always flock to the newest TOP project, and it is likely that Citygate and these older projects might also lose some of this tenant pool.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay, just coming back to the Citygate profitability, quite healthy as well, 2 to 300K for the 2 bedrooms. And then looking at the 2 bedrooms comparison, so for the M, so what's interesting is for the M, for the 635 square feet unit, for the kind of quantum that you showed previously at 1.8 million,
asking,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you realize that with 1.8 million, you could only buy a 2-bed, 1-bath in District 7? Right, so that's quite crazy. So for Aurea, you actually get to buy a 2-bed, 2-bath, a lot more efficient layout as well for the same quantum. So that I feel it's already a big advantage. So of course, it's better in terms of an asset where you're holding on to a 2-bed, 2-bath, same quantum versus 2-bed, 1-bath, similar quantum as well.
Yeah. Also, I noticed the difference is that this kitchen, once you walk in, right, is like I would say first things first, is not enclosed. You will walk by the kitchen to be able to get into your living and dining. So I think in terms of layout efficiency, not as great. Some people really do prefer the option to be able to enclose it, and I think this may pose a little challenge here.
Yep. If I had a choice, which I do, I would definitely prefer something more enclosed or enclosable. Okay, another example we'd like to highlight is South Beach Residence, which is closer to Esplanade, also within the same district, District 7. South Beach quantum is a lot more higher because of its size. Right, and then using the same lease reset disparity tool, we are looking at South Beach actually with the full brand new lease. It's PSF looking at about 3,007 PSF with a full quantum at 4.5 mil. And 4 years later, what is a balanced lease going to look like on South Beach? 7 years. Okay.
Well, I don't know, Jared, but can we go back to that previous slide?
Sure.
If I'm looking at 4.5, let's say lease reset, aren't we able to already buy a 4-bed actually?
Exactly. Yeah, even you could even reach out to the bigger 4-bedroom.
Just look at this. We've got the 4 mil was actually for the smaller one, right? Without the island.
Correct.
But still enclosed kitchen.
I think that's a very good point. So can you imagine if today you're a buyer, you are looking at a sweet spot about 4-ish? Would you rather buy a 2-bedroom? Or you could buy a 4-bedroom brand new.
Yeah. But what does it say though? People actually accept this area, right?
Yeah.
In terms of this.
So what that means to me as a layman just looking at numbers, I think that this district is attracting a lot of affluent buyers who are basically gravitated towards this area because of its connectivity, its nearby amenities, and they are willing to buy into this area. And they are actually, and then with Aurea coming in with a 4-bedroom at this kind of price range, I feel like you're actually going to attract a lot of demand 4 years down the road when your TOP is reached. And South Beach also seeing profitable transactions despite its quantum being a lot higher, which also shows the demand in this area as well.
This is for the 3-bed, those profitability. Now, if we look at South Beach Residences, 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,216 square feet. A lot of the space has actually gone onto this long balcony.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I don't know how to say it, but this balcony, it's so long. It looks like a bowling alley. That's one. I don't know whether it's also the width. It's able to put like a dining table with chairs.
It doesn't look like it would do. Even if you try to put a dining table outside, you probably have no space to walk. You are blocking the entire balcony already.
Yeah. So I feel like the internal usable space could be only about a 900-ish square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's correct.
Let's take a look right now then. How does Aurea 2-bit compares to these on the resale market? We've got the smallest at 635 square feet. Once again, here, highlighted in blue, is a focus on the enclosable kitchen. Okay, over here, the dining, and this is the dumbbell layout. Okay, likewise for the bigger 646 square feet, dumbbell layout, enclosable kitchen. For this 710 square feet, some of the square feet, the space has actually went on into this longer corridor. Now, I do take note, I do have clients who prefer these long walkways simply because sometimes they want more storage for their items, so they might build some carpentry there. Otherwise, in terms of all of this, very similar. The only difference also with the 710, instead of dumbbell layout, it will be all tucked to one corner here.
Yeah. Andrea, I also like to take this opportunity to point out the very important fact that all these 2 bedrooms actually do not come with a balcony. So what that means is your size that you get to enjoy internally is fully usable. So one thing you will realize this layout compared to other layouts that you see in the new launch market, the sizes of the rooms and the sizes of the living is definitely a lot bigger, even though on paper it's 635, 646 or 710. What you get to enjoy is a lot more usable space and a lot more efficient. So you have no wasted space or no long bowling alleys or whatsoever. And of course, depending on your personal preference, if you are a dumbbell layout lover, or you are prefer to be the traditional kind of layout, that is layouts that suit your preferences.
Okay, but you mentioned just now this one doesn't have balcony, right? That means is it later the other bedroom types, do they have balconies? They do.
They do.
Yes. And then also this is a non-harmonized project because this is en bloc. Okay, so don't be mistaken. I know the recent years, a lot of the new launches are all harmonized, but this is non-harmonized, just like Chuan Park, because they are en bloc projects.
That's correct.
Okay. So in terms of the supply of the 2 bedrooms in District 7, we're looking at about 1,200. Again, would you say that's very high numbers?
I think it's appropriately ratioed because typically for District 7, because of the strong rental yield, which we're going to be seeing later, a lot of the buyers are actually looking into the 2 bedrooms because they are the sweet spot between getting a very high rental and also the rentability as well, the ease of exit next time as well. Earlier, when we saw all the profitable transactions, a lot of them are in the 2 to 3 bedroom segment as well. So this actually represents a very big bulk of the sweet spot of a lot of buyers looking into this district.
Okay.
Okay, looking at the price disparity effect again, if we're looking at the pink bubble, which is Aurea, the newest property in District 7, how does the price for the 2 bedrooms compare to the other neighbors in the same district for the other 2 bedrooms as well? The size of the bubble represents the price range of how it's ranging from minimum to maximum. But what's importantly, if you can notice, is that the pink bubble here is actually priced almost the same as all your older resale counterparts, even 20 years older, 30 years older, your quantum is actually about the same. And quantum is actually one of the biggest factors that drives the buyer's affordability as well. Today in a GFA harmonized world, we no longer can just use PSF alone to make certain buying decisions. We are also needing to take into a consideration quantum because that affects affordability and whether your buyer is able to take a loan or able to afford your property 4 or 5 years later down the road when you resell. Okay, and in the table form, Aurea currently average quantum is around 1.9, but there are units today for sale starting from 1.7. The average quantum in the vicinity is about, for let's say, if I look at Midtown Modern, it's about 1.8, and if I look at Concourse Skyline, it's at 2.1. So I would say Aurea is priced very sensitively compared to the surrounding neighbors at the two-bedroom segment.
Okay, so with that, I think this is a very important question. Every time when we look into buying anything, I think buying is, I would say easy, but it's so important. We need to take care of this thing called exit. I think exit, buying with the end in mind, that is a very important thing to consider. And I think in District 7, we saw Aurea being right at the end, that bubble there to 2025. There's a different, you saw the different bubbles, right? We can see that there's a lot of other older resale condos in this whole entire District 7. And with all the rejuvenation transformation that we spoke about, think about it. Would you think the newer one, which is Aurea, okay, versus the older resale condos, which will have a larger exit audience?
Yeah, I definitely think it will be the newer one. So I personally would be a little bit more worried if I were to buy something that is only left with 73 years, even though I might get a bigger size that comes along with it. Efficient or not is debatable, but then from the pure fact that I am running down on the lease, usually that would be a big concern for most buyers, and they probably would prefer something that has a longer lease runway, because end of the day, there will always be a holding period of a buyer, and then they will also look to resell next time as well. So that is important factor. Okay, so a lot of buyers, they come into District 7. Some of them are investors, some of them are homestayers, but we want to take a look at the numbers. How does the rentability actually look like? So if you look at the whole entire Singapore, with the red line being the core central region, green line is the city fringe, and the blue line is the outskirts. Predominantly, what you'll find is that you get a lot higher rents in the core central region, which is expected. Typically for tenants, they are more willing to pay for locations that are more central, maybe to their workplaces or to the central nodes of Singapore. Okay. And the rental PSF range with between the different locations in District 7, you can see that they typically range from 6 to 10 PSF, but averagely around $8. Okay, if we are looking at the more recent and relevant transactions, we look at Midtown Modern, which is just TOP'd in 2025. You can see that the average PSF is about $8 to $9 and even crossing $10 even. Okay, so Andrea, how do you think a two-bedroom rental will look like in this area?
Okay, so I think based on what I'm seeing from Midtown Modern, that one is obviously nearer to Bugis MRT. We said that Aurea is basically walking distance to two different MRT, either Lavender, okay, which is the east-west green line, if not the circle line, which is Nicole Highway. I think with the rent it's commanding here, I also believe Aurea will be able to command in the 5,000 range.
And that's pretty healthy for 5,000 for a two-bedroom with an entry quantum of about 1.7 to 1.8. That's quite a decent yield.
What is the yield? Let's take a look. So we said 5,000, right?
Yeah. If let's say we are assuming 5,000, if you multiply by 12, your annual rent is about 60K. Assuming your entry price is about 1.75 mil, you are looking at a rental yield of about 3.4%. So I think that's usually quite attractive for renters, for investors these days. Okay, and then just showing you some data points for the rentals for this is Midtown Modern. So a couple of different we have the three bedders at the bottom.
We look at this only here.
Look at the bottom. The
8,000
to even 9,000 range. So one thing quite consistent is the PSF for the rental numbers. We're looking at averagely about $8 to $9. So that's pretty consistent, regardless of one bedroom, two bedroom, or three bedrooms even. Okay, Midtown Bay, we're also looking at rental quantums approximately about $6,000 with the PSF also around that same region. So very consistent. I like how the data points are not skewed towards a specific product. They are consistent across various projects, which also shows how consistent this district will be, giving a potential future buyer the confidence for the entrance into Aurea. Okay, dual residence is an older resale development, two bedrooms, even doing more than 6,000 to even 7,000. So that's quite strong if you ask me for a 2-bedroom rental around this area. 3-bedroom rental in Duo, even crossing up to $12,000 even, yeah. And the 4 bedrooms up to even 16,000. So the demand for the smaller units, even to all the way to the bigger units, whether you are looking to live or you're looking to rent out, there's definitely demand in this area as well.
Okay, so the overview of the D7 rental demand, as you can see, we've already put on a chart here for you to take a look. 2-bed, it does range as low as 4,000 city gate, but because the newer ones we're already seeing at 6,000. Okay, 3-bed, 9,000. And then with the 4-bed, where they take reference, let's say to Concourse Skyline, okay, in the 12 to 15,000, and 5-bedroom with Duo and Concourse Skyline already exceeding 23,000. Okay, so there is demand. There is people looking at this area, having the need for large floor plates, and in terms of that, also the beautiful view, okay, of the Kallang Waterfront, which also you can see your Esplanade, your Marina Bay Sands, and the Flyer.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So I think we've talked a lot about numbers and also the transformation.
I hope you were not too lost with all the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. So does it represent that this is a golden opportunity? What do you think as audience after you've heard? Is it a goodbye or is it we'll still wait and see? What do you think, Jared?
I think the numbers speaks volume for itself.
Yes.
I'm someone who's very motivated, not by emotions. I'm someone who is driven by facts, numbers. I look at charts and I plot an exit strategy based on the resale comparisons, and I like what I see for Aurea. So in the next segment, we'll talk a little about the transformation story. Again, one of the costly mistakes why people overlook this area is they are not aware of the government's plan in this area, which is, in our opinion, a very golden opportunity if you are considering a unit in Aurea. Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of this, we're going to talk about the 3 C's conservation, how central it is and how connected it is. Now, for those who grew up in this area, they lived their whole life here, or people who even, beyond the HDBs, with also those who already resided in Golden Mile itself, it is really unique that history is going to be saved. And that it's going to be obviously changed. We said it's not going to be resi at the Golden Mile site. It's going to be offices. However, now with that Aurea as that high-rise plot right beside it, you're right where history was. At the same time, this whole area, it's a mix. We haven't spoken about actually the lifestyle. There are certain districts that come to mind when it comes to lifestyle, like District 15. Yep. But maybe just talk about District 7 in terms of lifestyle. We've got Haji Lane. We've got your bars and clubs also over there. We've also got the other areas where you can also visit heritage sites like the mosque. So I think this whole area is not just in terms of hippie, I would say, where you have your lifestyle, but you also have your very local fare with that hawker center that is going to be right opposite where Aurea is. Right. So you're going to have basically great amenities, okay? So I think this is a district in terms of lifestyle. It is going to be conserved and enhanced. Okay, so in terms of how central it is, as you understand, we are actually a stone throw away from where Orchard River Valley is. We are also a stone throw away from where Marina Bay is. In this webinar, we didn't speak about Marina Bay transformation. Okay, but that is something we can talk more when we see you guys one-to-one, because there's a lot more that's coming up over there. This also has a spillover effect to where Aurea is at District 7. Okay. And as a whole, this is what the government has spoken about Marina South, what I mentioned just, where Marina Bay is. Yep. That's where One Marina Gardens, being the first plot, has launched. Tanjong Rhu, you're going to have a lot of HDB coming up. Just want to mention a bit. These HDB, it's not going to be your typical 5 years MOP. It's going to be 10 years MOP. So in terms of exit, if they're going to be built over the next 4 years, plus another 10, 14 years later, these are definitely your $1 million HDBs. And when they exit, there are these resale condos here. Again, they're very used to the waterfront living. Do you think typically would they actually like say, oh, I'm okay, I don't need the waterfront anymore. I think then waterfront is very precious, right? I didn't show you, but later we can take a look maybe at the draft master plan 2025. Right in front of Aurea is basically this yellow reserve site. So in terms of what we understand today, the views for the 4-bedroom is going to be unblocked. So these are your potential upgraders. And then we've spoken also about Kampong Bugis. Okay, so Nickel Precinct, that is something that is to be confirmed. But we know that the government now has focused a lot on the core central region, whereby they really want to bring people back now into central living.
That's correct.
Okay. Last but not least, again, this rejuvenation I've spoken about. You can see Beach Road along where Aurea is. Okay. Marina Center where all the workplaces, Raffles Place and Tanjong Pagar. So now I think there's also sometimes I hear from certain tenants, they don't really want to live where they work. So places like where I would say Beach Road here, Aurea where it is, they've got good views. They've got, Makan places where lifestyle hub, like I mentioned just now. I think this could also attract these tenant pools moving over there to rent. So this whole, I would say, it's a very synergistic center living in Singapore that we have overlooked, I would say.
Yeah, it's located definitely central. It's very different. It sets itself apart from your usual CBD condos, which all the cosmopolitan skyline, basically very built up areas where you only see buildings. I feel like what Aurea has to offer is the layer of the heritage, the conservation, the flavor that no other condos would probably be able to give you. The fact, coupled with the fact that it's located centrally, it is actually it has a well balance in terms of this centrality and conservation factor as well.
Okay, so that's in summary what we've covered. Okay, and how Aurea positions itself, not just in terms of numbers. That is really, really great entry. But here we have this waterfront living, whereby you can also go ahead and do your water sports. It's just a stone throw away. You've got this Kallang River where canoeing takes place, and also with what has happened, always going to happen in terms of the transformation of the sports hub and the pedestrian bridge that we spoke about earlier. With this also, I want to emphasize this. If you want to go to the north side of Singapore, whereby you've got your zoos, you've also got your RTS link that brings you to JB. This north-south corridor, think about it like your KPE. KPE basically brings people from different north-east side down to the city center. And now with north-south corridor, people from the North Woodlands and all, they will cut their travel time by car by 15 to 20 minutes. Also, this is also upcoming where Aurea is going to benefit from this North-South corridor. Okay, so in summary, I think we've spoken about the strong identity here in terms of heritage. It balances both heritage and it being a modern. I think that's what Singaporeans are also quite used to, yeah?
Correct. I think in Singapore, where basically everything is so built up already, sometimes it's important to find something that sets yourself apart. How is this condo able to be different? What's the differentiation factor compared to other condos as well? Basically something with a USP to set yourself apart. How do you stand yourself differently so that basically differentiation, yeah?
Yeah, and I think Jared has did a great work in sharing a lot about the entry prices when we compare Aurea to the other resale condos. And because of that, you're entering just as similar quantum as the resale condo. In terms of exit strategy, we have a large, wider audience, okay, based on the balance lease, and also in terms of this being then the safety net, okay? Last but not least, we already mentioned that Aurea is in the core central region. In terms of connectivity, it's unparalleled. Now, just to caution, I would say in terms of Aurea, can you tell the audience again what's the size, the number of units?
So the number of units for Aurea is 188. So if you're someone who maybe likes developments that are mid-size to slightly bigger size, Aurea has 188 units, so it's slightly smaller compared to the other resale, but that doesn't mean that it affects its profitability. It's really more of a personal preference today. If you're a buyer looking to live, do you prefer to live in more highly dense condo, or you prefer a more exclusive kind of living. So it's really up to individual preference.
Yeah, I want to take a note about this point that it was mentioned. I mean, when we think about smaller size, we would think that in terms of facilities is compromised. But I think because they understand that Marina Bay Sands has its infinity pool, over here they also placed they take note to place the facilities on different sky terraces. So I mean, you may not have purchased or intend to purchase a high quantum, high floor unit, but as a resident, as a tenant, you'll still be able to enjoy these facilities at different vantage points. So you can still enjoy your panoramic views of the Marina Bay Sands.
And a lot of people also think that they associate smaller sized condos with sky high maintenance fees, which is not the case in Aurea, where we have seen that the 2 bedrooms maintenance fees is about $400. For a core central region product, that's actually relatively a lot more cheaper than other CCR products.
But I must say that $430 is for per month. Okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So in terms of one thing to take note also, the 2 bedrooms, right, and the 3 bed, they are facing the north facing, where there is a HDB plot right above it. So for those who want to have an unblocked view, it's important to take note that then you may have to choose levels, I would say 15 or 16 and above. Okay, because also this project is, the level 1 is really not ground zero. They did have it built up. So the level 1 of the residential units does start maybe about level 3. Okay, so just to take note, but otherwise the 4 bedroom that we spoke about and the 5 bed, they have the south facing, which it faces the whole Kallang Water Basin.
Yep. And with that, we've come to the end of this webinar. We hope you found this useful and had some great takeaways. If you'd like to go deeper, please feel free to book your exclusive one-to-one consultation with us. Or if you'd like to arrange for a show flat visit, please get in touch. Yep.
Thank you for your time, and we appreciate you staying till date. Any more questions you have? I think it's very important that with any investment, because it's a very large ticket item, it is important to have us to run through in terms of your financial, financial profiling, your affordability, your IPAs and etc. And also to listen to you in terms of what your objectives are. Is it for lifestyle? Is it for investment? Or is it to balance both?
That's correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.